Welcome to our tour of Drift Cadet, where it's about cars and culture. Peter, it's so great to finally catch up at Drift Cadet. We've been trying to do this for a few years. You and Lynn are always doing events and you're flat out, but let's talk about the backstory and 86s, LSs, the workshop. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah, we started this business about 5 years ago. We saw that we needed to grow our motorsport of drifting and grow the community. So we started the drift school back in the day and then implemented the drift shows. We go to Summer Nats, MotorX, Rocky Nats and do the drift shows in our 86s. They've got the Harrow Supercharger kit on there, which kept the wheels spinning pretty good. And then, yeah, we've got a drift ute on the other workshop and some builds in the works.
I think it must have been 2017, 2018, we first met with Lynn, and you both had this passion and this vision to create a drift school that's accessible and people could actually participate and understand what it's about, because everyone loves to watch drifting. It's dynamic, it's visually spectacular. And then there wasn't a workshop, there wasn't a fleet of cars. So back at the very beginning, that was a big effort.
Yeah, well, we bought this car back in 2012. So she's pretty old now, but we started the business with this car. One car and then to a fleet of 10 cars, I guess, when we were at our peak. Back then this was NA, so that's what we taught in. And then that was level 1, and then level 2 would have the Harrow Superchargers where they can have more speed and do more technical stuff.
It's amazing, the cars are set up for drift, but there's not radical levels of modification. Like obviously the suspension needs to be changed. So maybe if you just sort of talk through what the basics are to create a drift capable 86.
So these cars we try to keep basic as possible for a reliable point of view, because obviously the more you modify it, there's more things that become unreliable or fail. We start off with the Harrow Supercharger, we put that on, gives it a boost from 100 kilowatts to 170 kilowatts.
And the engine's original, like it's a factory unopened engine?
That's a factory motor, original, same in the car from when I bought it back in 2012. It's got about 91,000 Ks on it right now. So we've got aircon, everything. Then we put Shockworks in it, so that's the coilovers that keeps the car planted. We run a GK Tech lock kit on the front, which allows more steering lock, so you can counter steer when you're drifting. And then there's a 2-way diff and 4.3 diff gears in the back to help acceleration and keep the wheels locked up.
Give it more drive, low down, that's right. Shockworks are local in Melbourne as well. They do a great job and they've got experience across other drift cars, so that definitely helps with the chassis control. It's amazing that you've got like 90,000 Ks on this car with the supercharger, and I think there's the other car as well is getting up there.
The purple one's got 110,000. Best bit, it runs aircon, so when Summer Nats is 40 degrees, we can turn that on and we're comfortable inside while still having plenty of power.
So for our US friends, that's like 50 or 60,000 miles, drift school, stock FA20, supercharged, and some of the events in summer here, it's over 100 degrees, so good reliability, good durability.
Well, with drifting, because we're on angle, we've got no airflow, so I think that's probably testament to the kit. We're always on red line with no airflow, so there's no cooling, but you're always on limiter, and yeah, it's been reliable.
So the workshop's just inside, let's take a look. I know originally though, there was no workshop, it was Jack Stan's front yard of home.
Yep, pretty much built all the cars at home, mum's driveway, changed clutches, installed supercharger kits. Whether it rain, hail, or shine, we're working on the cars.
So you've been in here for a few years now. Having the hoist obviously makes a big difference.
Oh, definitely. Makes everything a lot quicker.
And over the time, you've got some good partners on board as well. I know Penrite, local lubricants company, they joined around the time that Harrop connected.
They support us massively. Like you can imagine, we run 3-4 cars at the drift shows. These cars are, doing 4 days at Summer Nats, multiple sessions a day. So we go through a lot of engine oil, brake fluid, coolant, those kind of things. So yeah, it's great to have those guys on board.
The service intervals are a lot higher, and Ryco's a partner for us as well with their filters. They do an amazing job.
Yep, definitely. We run the performance range of their filters. So yeah, without those kind of partners, again, that's what keeps those cars reliable and running.
And tuning, we've helped along the way. So Ecutech's the software that we use. And it's important to note that we're running that sort of call it the standard level of boost. Like, we're not stressing the engine, because the FA20s, they're proven to be reliable at modest boost, great power jump. This old AE86 must have some stories to tell.
This has got the N2 body kit from Japan, which is like a wide body kit, and they do time attack in this kind of car.
I just know there's such an iconic platform for Japanese drift scene.
Yeah, so we've had this for a while. The plan was to turn it into a drift car. They're just so expensive now that, you know, it's a bit hard to drift. We've got the...
Well, it's appreciating. It's a classic. It's a great display piece for the workshop.
Totally. We've got the A86 Coupe in storage on the other side, which we use as a drift car. It's a bit more rough, so that's one we thrash around. This one we're going to restore over the next few months.
So, original 4AGE engine?
Yep, the plan is to do 4AGE, ITBs, and then maybe later down the track, maybe some forced induction or something like that.
So, making lots of power, sliding cars on bitumen, tyres are a consumable. Summer Nats is one of the biggest automotive events in this country. In the middle of summer, how many tyres are you guys going through on a weekend? Or for the event, it's 4 days, right?
Yeah, 4 days. We get 3 pallets shipped up. So it equates to somewhere between 80 to 100 tyres. There's a full-time tyre changer guy on site, changing tyres non-stop. We also run 2 mechanics, so 1 mechanic each car, because obviously straight in, we do the rides, and there's a mechanic on there, change the tyres, and the cars are straight back out.
Some of our viewers have probably seen Drift Cadet at Summer Nats, but for those that haven't been for a ride, what's the experience like?
Well, you jump in, you know, there's 2 cars battling each other. They'll do 2 lead, 2 chase runs. You're on a door of another car. The car's on the verge of crashing into a concrete barrier, drifting. The car's either gonna grip up or spin out, so you're constantly balancing it, so the passenger's gonna experience a car just pulling in and out of drift, as well as getting close proximity to another car.
And those that haven't experienced it, it feels incredible, because it feels like they're in a constant car crash, but there's control the whole time, that's the beauty of drifting.
Yeah, you can't see it from the outside of the car, but when you get inside the car, you can see the driver has a lot of control, and he's constantly just putting inputs to make that car where it needs to go. Now
I can see an LS here. It's looks like a takeout, and there's some plans for that one, I understand.
Yep, we're going to get Lynn more seat time this year. I want to give Lynn a bit more power and more fun, so we got this Alice here that we want to chuck in an 86, and then maybe she can join us at Summer Nats with a V8.
LS the world. Well, there is a ute, an Aussie ute that's got the LS with the Harrop supercharger, so let's go and check that one out.
Cool.
So Drift Cadet was built with 86s, but you came to me a few years ago and said, we need something Aussie, particularly for Summer Nats.
Yep.
And there's nothing more Aussie than a V8 ute. So the VE was picked up, and we've done the 1900 supercharger. It's been a pretty reliable rig.
Yeah, she goes pretty hard. I think it has 375 kilowatts and 800 newton meters of torque. So
shreds tyres.
Yeah, you got 3 times the power of the 86 and 4 times the torque. So yeah, tyres don't last long on this thing.
But not as nimble. Like, it's probably easier to control an 86 around a tight course than the ute.
Yep, totally. Because it's got a long wheelbase, it's very stable, but not as snappy as the 86. But yeah, this thing just does burnouts like no tomorrow.
What's awesome with this car culture that you're creating, you've got this beautiful little workshop space now, cafe, Sims. So this has become a popular spot.
I guess the next evolution of our business was creating a car community space where, you know, you feel like you can come, you're invited, you're welcome, and just meet and socialize with other, you know, like-minded people. That's where, you know, the beauty of the car community is just meeting more people and making more friends.
The cars and coffee events you're having are growing in popularity, and I think what's great, it's diverse and you're open to everyone coming. There's some supercars to old school JDM.
It's growing every month. It's good to see that people coming in and supporting it. Last event, we had multiple, 911 Porsches rock up. They'll park next to an Echo or like a Corolla, Mustangs, Jaguars, everything.
That's excellent. So not only the weekend events with cars and coffee, but now you've got the cafe, so people within the area can come and get an awesome coffee and a bite to eat.
We like coffee and food, and we just thought we'd supply, the coffee that we like to drink, all that kind of stuff that bring it to Brooklyn.
I think what's a massive credit to both you and Lynn, whether it's Drift School at Winton or MotorX, the effort and the little features of the space and the environment and the experience is always so very well done, and it's an absolute credit to both of you.
Thank you.
You try hard.
We're glad you guys like it. We're just giving back to the guys that support us.
Now GR86, it's the hot new Toyota platform. It's been out for a couple of years now. You were lucky enough through your association with Toyota here in Australia, you had one of the very first cars in the country.
Yeah, again, Lynn got to do the commercial for the GR86, which is pretty cool. We got to see, behind the curtain of advertising, and with that, we got to order the 86 before anyone else could.
So our car, we've had it for about 12 months and we've done the supercharger kit. It's similar to the FA20. There's a great video you can check out on the channel that covers that. And what's next for Drift Cadet?
We're going to build the Alice 86 for Lynn, of course. Hopefully it's built in time for Summer Nats, and then build the N2 86, which is on the stand. That's going to be the Cars and Coffee cruise, Sunday cruise event, and then got a little surprise planned. Yep.
Something that's a bit unusual that I've noticed, this has got some history with TV.
Again, that relationship with Toyota, we're pretty cool to get given this for the cafe to show it off to the customers. It's a Zoetrope, so when you plug it in, it spins, and with the right shutter speed on your camera, it animates and moves.
Yeah, they've got the Dakar Rally Hilux, the Hypercar from Le Mans. Very cool. And you've got your own YouTube channel as well, which is worth giving a little plug to.
Yeah, it's Peter Pham 86, and yeah, I realised we should have did YouTube a long time ago, but it's a great way to capture memories. So yeah, check it out.
Great to catch up with Peter and Lynn. It's a fantastic business, Drift Cadet. Check them out online. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.